Hey everybody, welcome to the DDC Studios YouTube channel. This is DDC Studios owner and publisher David Hayner, and this week's video is the finale to the secret origin of DDC Studios. But before we get underway, I want to remind you to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. And also, please feel free to share this video on all of your various social media platforms, because just like mini comics, we do rely on word of mouth to help this channel grow. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's get to the finale. When last we left you, I was hinting, I guess you would say, or at least teasing, the first real release for DDC Studios, or at the time, just what we were referring to as Dylan's Domain Comics, or DDC Press. And that was Parental Guidance Suggested. It was actually a weekly one-panel strip that was kind of this odd combination of like the Far Side, Calvin and Hobbes, and Family Circle. Like I said, done as a single panel comic strip, Far Side style. And essentially what it was I gave Dylan a bunch of Jack Kirby comics. Dylan read them and he gained cosmic powers. Basically, you know, he became a Kirby character, a cosmic Kirby character, right down to the Kirby crackle and everything. And literally, basically, he had the power of the Infinity Gauntlet, because, you know, he was omnipotent and could literally do anything that his imagination came up with. And it was, you know, about him having those powers and me having to basically try to be his parent. And it lasted for a few months, actually, and actually had a really good reception, so much so that, you know, for those of you that are maybe, I guess we can now call you longtime readers of DDC mini comics, you know that we actually released 2 mini comic volumes that physically reprinted, I should say, these online comic strips, which actually, I can actually break the news right here. The reason why we have discontinued doing the PGS, as we call them, comic strips, is it's actually morphed. We are now doing Parental Guidance Suggested Animated, actually. It is one of the projects that we are working on to do animated shorts. Thanks to the Procreate Animate feature, basically anybody can be an animator, and I am living proof of that. That actually is going to be down the road. But all of these Parental Guidance Suggested animated shorts will actually be uploaded right here to the DDC Studios YouTube channel. Okay, now that we got that neat little announcement out of the way, let's get back to this story. And the reason why we started doing this strip, quite honestly, is because Dylan just loved the idea of, you know, quote unquote, being famous on the internet by being a cartoon character. And sure enough, he was, because obviously Dill is the favorite character in these strips. And with the response I was getting, and then releasing these mini comic collections along with Dillard. We also did another mini comic called The Adventures of Little Cy and Mr. Kitty, which was kind of my take on a Calvin and Hobbes type story, which actually we got some more issues of that coming down the road as well. Unfortunately, they've just been put on the back burner, what with the success of the Domain. And speaking of which, that's the Domain and the Star Lines actually kind of signify a change with Dylan's Domain Comics, or DDC Press, if you will, to DDC Studios. We felt it was time to change the name, even though we'd only actually been a publishing company for maybe about a year, a little over, because we were getting more into more than just doing comic books. We were already starting working on the animation. We were working hard on preparing to do this YouTube channel. We're actually working on some music as well. And also we moved into producing and selling original art. So we were more than just, a comic book press. We were an actual honest-to-God studio. Actually, more than one studio. If you look at, at our house, that's basically, that's DDC Studios, right there. Because it's basically, it's, well, I guess to put it bluntly, it's really overtaken our entire lives. At least our entire free time, Dylan included. Now, a lot of people have kind of mentioned to me that, I constantly talk about, Dylan being the grand poobah of DDC Studios. I always use the word we, things like that. But Dylan really isn't, I guess you'd say, as present in the public's eye, almost basically none. When he is, usually I obscure his face and whatnot. And just to be perfectly honest with you, he's a 13-year-old kid. And he does have other interests. And he also deserves his privacy. Because as we know, the internet is not the greatest place in the world for kids. And yeah, he's now a teenager. But he is still only 13 years old. And, he has no real desire to, be on the YouTube videos or anything of that nature. And I totally respect that. However, with that said, he is still very much involved in the production of these mini-comics. He's the first one after me who creates them to read them. And his input is weighed heavier than absolutely anybody else's input, because if Dylan doesn't like something I'm doing, it does not see the light of day, because I want these books to be all ages. So if a 13-year-old kid that really digs anime and manga, and also some superhero comics really digs what I'm doing, well, I know I'm definitely on the right track. So that is why I always refer to this project as we. Everything I do is we, because it isn't just me. It's, Dylan and I. Together, we are most definitely a team. It's just one of those, I'm kind of the public face of the company, if you will. So yeah, that's actually the origin of DDC Studios. Finally, it only took us, a little over, well, I would say probably close to 70 minutes when it was all said and done for me to ramble on about this long-ass journey. And I really hope this isn't anticlimactic for you guys, but, it's something that a lot of people were wanting to kind of know about, is how did this company kind of come into being? A lot of people, like I said, refer to us as a mini comic company, and I do as well. But the really exciting thing is we are now becoming far more than just a mini comics publisher. We will always be producing mini comics, but the funny thing is we're also just as committed to make these animated shorts. We're just as committed to keep producing really cool original art pieces, and apparel and other merchandise, and YouTube videos. Obviously, with the exception of there a few days back when we unfortunately, thanks to technical difficulties and an emergency in my day job, we had to skip a day, but we upload videos 3 days a week. And as anybody who makes YouTube videos can attest, that alone takes dedication. Because every other day, we've got to spend a few hours, not just recording the video, but also editing it and putting in the graphics, laying in the graphics and all of that good stuff. So I guess what I'm also wanting to say before we wrap things up is I just really hope you appreciate everything Dylan and I are doing, because the whole reason why we do this isn't just because we find it fun, which we do. That's a really big part. But the other really big part is, we want to entertain people. And we're also dedicated to making mini comics as big as they possibly can be. That's my ultimate goal, really, is that mini comics are not kind of looked at any longer as a niche of a niche, but just a legitimate part of the comic book industry, and just as legitimate, if you will, as our big brothers, the regular comic books. That's really my ultimate goal, and quite frankly, I'm not going to stop even once we reach that goal, and I'm sure as heck not going to stop until we reach that goal, because to me there's nothing more important than seeing this scene, I guess you'd call it, of comic books finally come into its own, and I guess you would say maybe live up to its potential. So I guess with those words, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Once again, I really hope you enjoyed this multi-part series about the origin of DDC Studios. And as always, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. As always, we would love it if you'd leave a comment down below, as both Dylan and I really love any and all feedback we can get to help improve this channel in any way we can. And also, if you check out the description below, if you're interested in checking out any of DDC Studios mini comics that are currently in print, just hit that Webstore link and it'll take you to the official DDC Studios Webstore, where you can pick up bundles, single issues, and also original art. You can also pick up a DDC Studios official t-shirt, as we currently have 3 right now available: the official DDC Studios logo t-shirt, the domain logo t-shirt, and also a Black Owl emblem cosplay style t-shirt. And those guys are available in every size, and they're only $20 a piece. And also, feel free to follow us on both Twitter and Instagram for more mini comic shenanigans, as we post there on a daily basis. So, once again, thank you ever so much for listening. We're going to have another video up for you here in just a couple more days, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.